Hi everyone, Carol here, artist of Onlytrees, and it's been a few weeks since I put a video together, so today is the day. So I have been on vacation last week and came home, caught up on some things that I needed to catch up on, and then got into some wire tree work. So I thought I'd pop on and show you what I have been working on. I just finished, this is what I call a reading tree, okay? This is like a windswept tree. I have all of my branches and my leaves on. I have my root system already completed, and I'm going to attach it to a base. So what I wanted to show you was when I create my root systems for this particular kind of tree, I do make my anchors. So I've got 6 anchors, one on each side. So if I turn it around, right, this area here is open. Now, if you can imagine, when I'm creating this tree, I'm thinking about the customer who might be using this for something a little bit different than just a beautiful tree to look at. So, for instance, this particular reading tree will have a glass orb. This glass orb is created by an artist from Spirit Pieces. This has the ashes of our loved ones in it. This tree will hold the glass orb. So that is what you see here in the opening. All right, and I'll be putting this on a base. And again, I'm showing you the anchors. All right, on the other side, there's 3 more anchors. I'm going to place them back upward or level. And what I want to do, I have a piece of wire here. What I want to do is when I place this orb into this base, I want to tighten up this wire and secure my root system around this orb. Now, I also create these trees for a small photograph. When I do that, it's basically the same concept, but I use a small 2 by 3 inch frame, and I wrap the roots around a frame so that a photograph can be put in here instead of an orb. Those are just 2 things that this tree that I create is used for. Another one that can be used for is if you have semi-precious, large hand palm size stones that you want to show off. That's another thing that you can use this particular tree for. So this one is going to be for the glass orb, and this is the base that I picked out. This is dogwood. It's been professionally dried and sanded, and I put my I stamp my initials with Roman stamps with the date on it, basically just the year. So those numerals that you see stands for 2024. So that's the base that I've chosen for this particular tree. I'm going to place this tree on top of the base. I'm going to take, this is a 3-inch glass orb. It's pretty heavy. I'm going to place it inside so it will kind of sit like this. All right, but it's not secure, but I want to tighten everything up so when the tree is attached to the base, the customer will be able to place that orb into it, and it'll feel like a nest, like the glass is secure into the root system of this reading tree. So basically, that piece of wire that I had showed you, I'm going to go in here and tighten this up. And let me see if I can move my camera a little bit closer. And while I'm doing all this, I hope that you'll grab your wire and work on your project that you're working on. Or maybe it's not wire, maybe it's glass, maybe it has something to do with copper. For whatever reason that you might be here, I thank you for spending your morning or afternoon or evening with me as I work on this. Let me see if I can move this camera in. Not wanting to turn it off. What the heck? Let's just get all of this together. So excuse my gray hair. I'm going to try to move this in a little bit. All right. Bear with me, guys. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I follow no script. This is just me wanting to be out there with you guys who have the same type of interest in this wire artwork that we love to do. So you can see that my window sill is nice and wide, and it's right out here, so I get to enjoy that sunlight. All right, and angle. Am I doing pretty good? Okay. All right, there you go. That's a pretty good look. Okay, so this is kind of what it looks like just sitting there on the base. I'm taking my pliers, and I have this one piece of copper wire here that I want to tighten, so I'm going to pull it outward. And this copper wire, I attached, I just wrapped it around a couple pieces of wire that's on this side, took the wire and then wrapped it around the other side, so there's no secret on that. I just attached that one wire, but now I'm able to use that one wire to tighten this up, bring the roots closer to that glass orb that I'm working on. That looks like it's pretty good for now. So now I'm going to take these extensions that I have here. This first one, when I create my trees, I always put my initials into into my root system, and I do that as I'm creating my root system. So it's something that's already figured into what I'm doing. So my root system has my initials. My initials I put in is CLM. I do not put the dates on my trees. That I don't think is really significant. But so because I made long extensions, and I have them in groups of 2, and I used 3 strands in each one of these 20 gauge copper wire that I'm using. So there's 3 strands in each one of these groups that I have. So these are straight pieces, but they won't be straight very long. Each group is 2, so this, you can see it's 2. All right, I'm going to split them. All right, so 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up, 1 down, 1 up. Do it with me. 1 down, 1 up. We could make a song out of this. I got a couple more here. 1 down, 1 up. And then I have an extra one here. Now, this very first one is a single one. And again, this is a thought process when I'm creating this particular tree. This one has my initials on it here, CLM. I'm going to bring this one all the way down, straight down in between all of these straight pieces that I put in. Okay, so it's right in between. All right, now I'm going to bring the wires that I had down, I'm going to bring them up. And the one that was up, I'm going to bring that one down. This is all again in the design that I'm creating for this particular tree. So all of the straight pieces that I pulled down, I'm now pushing back up, and I'm taking that other one and bringing that down. This is just locking that one long wire into place. So that's going back up, and this one's coming back down. And I'm going to go around and do that to these others. So share with me, what are you guys working on? They're working on a pine tree, or if you've never done a tree in wire before, are you doing the basic learning how to? It's all good. And in comments below, share with me what you're working on. I'm always intrigued to find out a little bit more about the people who watch me and what you might be looking for. So I have that one is locked in place now. Now what I want to do is make it unique. Okay, this is just one side. Again, wire bends, so take advantage of getting it out of the way if you're working on your wire. And this is where I play. There's never one root system that's the same, except for that initial getting it started. So this first wire I'm putting in the back of the orb. Why am I doing that? Well, because I want to. It's not, not any big deal. And this next wire, I think I'll take it down the front, right in between those that I've bent up and down. Okay, and because I did that, I want to lock those in place. So I'm going to take my wires again, all right, and do the same thing. The wires that I had down, I'm going to push up, and the one next to it I'm going to push down. That locks that one in place. So up and then down. Next set of wires, up and down. All right, this kind of locks that in place. And I'm starting to get this tightness around the orb that I'm looking for. So this first wire that I have that's downward, okay, I'm going to take it, push it down with pressure, bend it inward, and then come up into like a weave, going underneath that next wire that is down, and then come up in between those next two pieces of wire. And again, it's just whatever my thought process is at the time. Like I said, each root system is completely different from the next one. So what's your favorite wire that you like to work with? I know there's a lot of people who enjoy working with aluminum. Aluminum is really a good wire to work with, but for me as an artist, I like working with copper and silver wire because it's a little bit more strength-wise, stability for a tree to stand on its own for a long period of time. When I'm talking long period, I'm talking probably years. I want my trees to stay in position, and I can get that effect with the copper wire. My favorite wire to work with, I think I've said this many times, is a 20 gauge for the trunk and root system, and then a 22 gauge wire for my leaves, and a 24 gauge wire for 22 gauge 22 gauge for flowers and leaves. 24 gauge I like to use for if I'm making pine needles, because it's a thinner gauge to work with, and when I put my wires together I use different colors. So then a 24 gauge gives me that more of a shading color. For instance, if you've seen any of the videos that I do on the blue spruce, that is a 24 gauge wire that I use on that. These leaves that you see here, that is a 22 gauge. And these leaves are made out of the loops. The loops that you continuously see me do on my videos. I use the loop concept for every tree that I create, because I can do a prep on things that I'm creating constantly. So my army green, my teal, the peridot, those loops can be created, you know, maybe a week out before I'm working on a tree, or, you know, 2 weeks out when I'm not really busy. I'm making my loops, prepping for future trees. Do you use loops? Have I talked you into trying making loops yet? Have you found a better way? These are all things that really intrigue me to find out what it is that you're interested in. All right, we're coming pretty close here. So basically, these root system here on this particular tree is pretty easy. I'm creating the root system how I want it. So I don't know that I would call this a basic excuse me, I don't know that I would call this basic, but it can be, you know, where you just want to make sure all your wires for your root system are connected before you create the crown of your tree. This root system is basically for someone who has decided that they want the orb under the tree, or display a favorite semi-precious stone. And I can show you that, what that would look like afterwards, after I get this done. Bring this one back down, and then back up. Bring this one down, and then this one back up. Pushing all of this down. So this is what I got so far. Alright, and I have my anchors here. These are the anchors that I will, when I'm all done, is measure out by making pencil marks and then drilling holes into the wood to anchor the base down. So now for the other side. And it's basically the same thing. Again, I'm going to bend this so it's kind of out of my way. Kind of out of my way. But the stability for this is just, you know, the crown is not going to be moving around too much, but the stability is there and should keep its shape for many, many, many years. All right, I'm doing the same thing. I have two sets. So this is one set. Okay, there's two wires here, 1, 2. So one's going down, one's staying up. One's going down, the other one's staying up. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. All right. And I'm going to take one of my back wires here that's up, this one here, and I'm going to take it all the way down in between those wires, and now bring this one up and the other one down. Bring this one up and the other one down, up, down, up, down, up, down, locking that long wire that I just laid across, locking that into place. Okay, and that other long wire I have here, again, is going to go laying it across and switching the wires around again. So up, down, up, down. And this is just one way I do my root system. It's for this particular kind of tree, or any of the trees that I create that goes around a glass orb. So it secures the glass orb into place. All right. Down, up, down, and up. All right. And I'm just pulling these two long wires that I placed down in between. Alright. So when you're not watching YouTube, here's a random question for you. So when you're not watching YouTube and you might be working on a project, what is your go-to on the TV? Mine is the Discovery Channel. I really like the Discovery Channel. Then watch a lot of different shows. And here I'm just playing with my long pieces of wire, wrapping them around. Not any significant way. And this is another long piece of wire. Just drooping it down and making kind of a nest-like area for this orb. This particular one is the long one. I'm going to take it out along, let's see, you're not seeing it, okay, along the outside of the trunk here, just for giggles, you know, just because. Alright, and these long wires, I'm going to take this one that's down, pull it down as much as I can. I still have my anchors. I don't want to get my anchors intertwined into the root system. I want those to attach to the base. So I'm going in, taking this long piece of wire down and then back up somewhere else. It's this long piece of wire. And pull it upward. And this one I think I'll take, pull it down and go back into a space just like that. And this next wire, I'll bring this one in between the two that I have here. That's one, that's two, bringing it in between, take it down to the next one, go in between, and then pull it straight down, bring it back up, in between more wires here. I know this is tough for you guys to see, but you're probably working on your project. This is nothing important. It's kind of cool knowing that you and I are working on our projects together. It's like we're not, you know, we're not, oh, come on, Carol, think. We're working together in our own homes, but having company at the same time. I think that's awesome. Alright, I'm getting there. Says good things take time. Good things take time. Alright, let's see. What do I want to do with that one? Decisions. Alright. So it kind of looks like the roots are continuing to grow when you're looking at it. I have some of my root systems are standing up like they want to go up over the orb in its placement, and others are just intertwining itself, finding its new home, as you could, which way maybe the you know, like least resistance for a root when it's growing under the ground. They go in between each other and the dirt and the rocks and everything that else is that's out there. Those are the kind of things that I think about when I'm doing my root system. Now, you don't see that in this particular piece, but if you can imagine it, then you know that the root system will say, okay, see, I did, Carol, you did intertwine one of your anchors that you want to use for anchoring into the wood. All right, get that back out. But then you can start to see the shape here, okay? that's kind of what I'm working on. All right, got my anchors. They're better off there. Yay. All right, it's coming together nice. Coming together really, really nice. Now, back to that piece of wire that I had to tighten all of this up. I'm going to give it one more shot here. Twist everything. Whoa! Did you fall over? All right, camera. Surprise, surprise. All right, that looks good. Good. Oh, nice and tight, Carol. Nice and tight. All right. So this is what I have so far. Okay. Now, I want to center this. I don't use, you know, when I'm centering my tree on the base, I don't use a rule or anything. I pretty much do an eyeball look and see how pretty it might look like. And the other thing is, I would use or choose a completely different base if the customer is looking to have a plaque put on this also. So those are other things that I need to think about when I'm putting a piece like this together. Get all my paperwork straightened out first before I pick out the base. You can see working with the copper and the silver wire that it really does make your tree a little bit more sustainable. All right, this looks good. Yeah, I think I like it right where it is. All right. And I take a pencil, and where my anchors are, move it back, where my anchors are, I want to get underneath the wire, underneath the root system to make my marks, so that when I drill my holes, the hole is going to be directly under the copper wire and you're not going to see that. So it looks like the tree is literally just sitting on top of the wood. Then, before I do that, I have air underneath this root. So I want to try to see if I can bend this down now. I might not have the right pliers to do this, but we'll see. Yep, I'm not getting a good grip on it. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, okay. When I get the drill out and drill that down, anchor everything, and then put a weight on top, you're not going to see that. So feel pretty good about that. All right, let's recenter where I want this. My anchors are about 1 inch long, and when I drill into the center of the wood. So let me show you. I'm going to make my holes, lifting up my copper a little bit to get underneath where I want my holes to be drilled. To lifting up again with that hole. Now the other side. Lifting it up a little bit. One. Now this one I gotta lift up pretty good. That's way under there. Alright. And the last one. Okay, now that I have all that matched up, if you can see it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I made that center mark, and I didn't match it up real well because my pencil point did not make a mark. Alright, now I need to match them up again. Okay, see, that's 1, 2, and I gotta match these 3 up again. Yep, that's good. Okay. Let's try this again, Carol. Take this off carefully. Lift this up a little bit. I need that mark. And there it is. Okay, good. Alright, what I wanted to show you was, if you can see, okay, yes you can. Alright, so when I drill my holes, I drill that they go in towards the center. So this would go straight in. This one up here would come down, angle into the center. And again for these two, this top one up here would come down into the center. This one would probably come straight in a little bit, and this one back down into the center. And every tree I create, the holes are completely different from the next root system. So it's not like I can make a template and say, okay, these are my 6 holes, zip, 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 because my roots are always different, so a template wouldn't work. So making the root system with your anchors and then making the marks on the wood is probably the best way to go, if that's something that if this is something that interests you to do in the future. So in the last video, okay, let me change this around. Look. Alright. There you are. Okay. So in the last video that I posted, I said that I'm playing with different things along with my trees. My camera's not straight. You probably cocked your head like, what? Okay, let me see if I can straighten this out. It's not real. No way. No way. You're kidding. Okay. I honestly thought that I lost everything. Totally surprised me. Oh my God. Okay, what I wanted to share with you is, in the last video, I said that I was playing with other things, and I wanted to show you kind of what I was doing. So along with you guys, I know that you're YouTubers and watch many people. Well, I went and did the same just to be inspired, and saw these amazing wire artists that do animals and do, you know, make different things out of wire. So I thought, okay, I've got a vacation coming up. This is before I went on vacation. So while I was on vacation, I was playing, and I made, and some of you might have seen them down at my shop in Slatington, but I've been playing with making little, I call them tree ents, okay, because they're out of my tree wire. I use, not necessarily for the hair, but for the bodies. These are leftover from the trees that I create. So these are, tell me in the comments right now, these are my loops, okay? Just a different concept. When I make my loops, I pull these down. And for the hair, it's the same thing. These are my loops. And I just put my loops on the top first, and then design how I want to pull it. So this is leftover wire from the trees I create, the body and the arms and the hands and all that. And then these are from the loops that I create. So this was one that I made while I was on vacation. And this is another one that I made while I was on vacation. Now can you see this? Isn't this just so cute? The same thing. These are loops, all right? Loops that I've made prior to. And then this young lady, using the recycled wire from the trees that I create, I made my very first wire book. So she will eventually, not this particular rock, but a rock like this, she will sit on a rock reading a book. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So I needed to figure something out to do with my leftover wire, and that's what I'm doing now. Before I left for vacation and while I was on vacation, I was working on another project, and this is the newest project. So this is completely different, and this is all leftover wire. And can you tell what it is? I'm not going to tell you. You probably know, and maybe in the comments below you will share with me what you think of this guy. Now, of course, he doesn't have the branches on yet. I needed to fix him so he wouldn't come off. So that took a little bit of time. But that's what I was doing. That's what I was doing, and I'm getting some really good enjoyment out of that. I hope that when you're working with wire, if it's wire wrapping jewelry, wire trees, wire bugs, wire people, wire anything, that you might put me in the background and continue what you love to do, and be inspired with the things that I've been able to share and that you're getting some benefit from, or you know, you're just passing through, seeing what my channel is all about. I'm still so thankful that you stopped here to check this out. Since my my subscriptions, people, thank you so much. The subscriptions that I've been getting for my channel, geez, I'm up to like 1,130 people. That just totally amazes me and shows that there's a little bit of interest in what I have to share. And if you're here for the first time, thank you for popping in. If you've been here since 2016 when I started this adventure, thank you for hanging in there with this crazy, loopy, twisted lady. With all of that said, if you're interested in being inspired in creating wire trees, hit the subscribe button. And then, you know, you're hitting the subscribe button, just hit the bell button, and that'll let you know when I pop back in with another video. Also, just for fun, okay? You might say, all right, Carol, see you later. That's fine. Thank you again for being here. Those who have me in the background, I did take some snidbits. You say it? Snidbits? Is that even a word? Of my vacation up in Maine. And if you're sticking around to see that, I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy video and sharing, like I do with almost everything that I do. So stay tuned, stay twisted, grab your beverage, and enjoy. Hi everybody, Carol here, artist of Onlytrees, and I'm on vacation. I am in Addison, Maine. Look at these gorgeous spruce and fir trees, and it's just an awesome, awesome day. And yes, I'm sitting out here enjoying the beautiful weather. Let me see if I touch that. There you go. There you go. That's better. All right, look at that. So I'm working on pink and gold. Yes, something different. Loops. Loops for the loopy. What are you guys working on? So my plan is to get up out of this chair eventually and go for a hike. Put my hiking boots on and show you around. But I thought I'd sit here for a couple minutes. And if I'm quiet, get your wire. Go ahead. Go ahead, go get your wire, and I'll wait for you. And we'll sit and we'll twist for a little while, and then I'll get my boots on and take you down to the beach. We're on a rosehip farm, and down that way is a field of rose hips, and you have to walk through the rose hips first before you get down to the beach, which is really cool because really early in the morning and late in the afternoon, and it's later in the afternoon now, so if I'm quiet and twisting, maybe we'll have a deer come across and I can pick up my phone and quick show you that. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Okay, so here we are. Pink wire, pine trees, ocean. You might hear some birds. I'll be quiet for a little bit. Get your wire and we'll twist some wire together for a little while. Ooh, nice breeze. Nice breeze. There's a little bit of fog out there. Gold in the middle, Carol. Gold in the middle. I hear a mosquito close to my ear. All right, go away. We've been here for a couple of days and had the opportunity to see a few seals. Not a whole lot, but you see them more. Me personally, I've seen more seals like just before the sun goes down, and never have my timing right as far as having my camera on. But they get really close to the beach. I was like surprised because you can imagine I'm down at the beach and I'm looking down, okay, literally looking for rocks. And I just glance over to where the waves are coming in, and they're not big waves, they're just like lake waves coming in when the tide comes in. And I go to pick up this rock, and I just, out of the corner of my eye, I'm right along the line there where the water comes up, just glanced over and I saw something go whoop into the water, and I thought, oh, what? So then I stopped for a minute to get my phone out, and he came up, this little round head with the beady eyes and a little stout nose, came out of the water, looked at me, and I'm fuddling around with my phone, and back down in the water he goes. And he never came back up. It's like, how long do they stay under the water? Well, when I got back to the house, I decided to do some research. They can stay under the water for a half hour, so I was blessed that I had the opportunity to see it. But that's about it. That particular seal never came back to say hi. All right, the mosquitoes are, because I'm sitting in the shade, mosquitoes are kind of getting a little rammy over here. They're buzzing in my ear, so I think I'll finish this last one up. Go get my hiking boots on, grab my walking sticks, and go down to the beach. What do you think? Will you stick around to see that? Just keep twisting. Stay relaxed. Get yourself a beverage. Keep twisting that wire, what you're working on, that project, one twist at a time. That's the way it gets all done. And I'll go get my boots on, and we can check this place out together. This is a spruce tree, because if you take the needles off, you know that you can roll it between your fingers. So spruce.
I don't think it's small.
And fir. I'm at the back of the house now, and there is a trail. It takes about 20 minutes, and I'll probably do that in a little while, but there's a trail here. I'm gonna crawl underneath the tree, but you follow that trail and it takes you to an area that we were calling Bug Island because the mosquitoes were so bad, but we're gonna spray ourselves real good and do another attempt. This is the backyard. This is where we hung out most of the week. That is Odie and Mila. Odie's got the brown ears. Mila has the black ears. Waiting for mom and dad. There was a kayak up here for us to enjoy. But this is where we hung out most of the week. I'm standing right outside the house, and now you can't even see that island. Well, I can a little bit. So that's where I was, over on those rocks there. Walked across the beach, and this is where I am now. So where that last spruce tree is outward, the tide is starting to come in. Walked back to where I take the trail to go up to where we're staying. But before we get there, got a question for you. How many rocks do you think I carried back? These are all flat rocks that I found right along the coast. Oh yeah, and a bonus of a half shell. Look at that baby. It's really big. Kind of fresh. If I look up, so there's a grass line here, but just beyond the grass line, those are rose hips. So we're on a rose hip farm, and that's the home we're staying in. And this is the trail that leads back up through the rose hips. And if you saw any of my deer pictures, this is where the deer come to feed. Beautiful old New England home that we're staying in. And if I just scan over here to the left, that's the other side of the rocks that I was on. Oh yeah, you might see a mountain man coming across the rocks. That's my son-in-law. Looks like he's collected something. And there you go, the tips of the spruce trees out to the coastline, looking straight out to the ocean. And there is an island out there, but it's starting to fog in, like I said earlier. There you go. Crazy weather up here.
Okay, someone just did laundry. I add downy lights so fresh is really light.
You them or okay. Okay, Mom, take a ginger for that. You hungry? Okay. Cool. Outside, look at the view.
A beautiful Saturday night in Addison, Maine. Finish the day off with the fire on the beach. With crab meat on the fire. Cheers, guys. I had to get my beverage. So while you were enjoying that few minutes of the cool things that I did while I was on vacation. I did get my holes drilled, and there you can see they're all angled up in there. And I'm going to anchor my tree, so I'm going to pull my anchors down. Okay. And I'm going to try, without too much wiggling, to angle the camera down so that you can see what I'm doing here a little bit. That should be pretty good, as long as the phone doesn't fall over. All right, so now it's to match up my anchors with the holes that I drilled. See if I did a good job. Sometimes I need those pliers. I've got 3 in, 4, 5, and now this last one. Now this is going to give me an idea if I need to cut my anchors down, because I usually leave, like I said, about an inch, inch and a quarter for my anchors sitting down in there nice and tight. Okay, now this is without the glue. Matching in there. Looks pretty good. Okay. Now that that's all taken care of, I'll take the root systems back out. Add my glue. I use Gorilla Glue. When the Gorilla Glue dries, it's almost like a rubber. I like this glue. And I'm just going to put the glue into those holes. 1. 2. 3. You might ask, how many anchors do I usually make when I'm making my root system? I usually do at least 6. 6 anchors per tree, more if needed. If my root system is really big, then many more anchors. So I have my glue inside the holes now, and then again I want to glue my anchors, so I'm taking my glue right along the edge, not a whole lot, but just right along the edge there on each one. Okay, put the lid back on, the glue. and fit my anchors back down into the holes. And doing this, be like checking the holes and putting the anchors into the holes before I glue them makes it a little bit easier. Not always, but makes it a little bit easier to match everything up at a better pace. So that's all glue now. And I do have this one area sitting up a little bit higher than I want to, so I'm gonna play with it, bending it down again. Sits down there pretty nice. Whoa! I say that. Alright, now I definitely need to give this time to set. And I usually use rubber bands for weight. Just in case you didn't hear me because I had to walk away. I usually use rubber bands to weight everything down. So I'll take 3 rubber bands here. Get my finger out of there. I'm going to take 3 more rubber bands. Go kind of towards one side and 3 more rubber bands for the other side. Geez, these rubber bands are kind of out of shape. They've got a lot of give to them, so. But that should hold it down. Set. Oops. Yeah. Oops. Dropped it. All right. Okay. I didn't accidentally drop it. That's something that I also do once I get it in there because I want to see for myself the stability of the tree that I created. Because, you know, accidents do happen. And I just want to see how much damage there would be to the crown of my tree if that accident would happen to happen for a customer. And there you go. Now I'm going to let this dry. Probably tomorrow sometime. And get it all ready to be shipped out. Yeah. As always, thank you for watching. Have an awesome, awesome day. And we will talk soon.